It's a beautiful day here at High Impact Motorsports, and I am here with the frame for the 620, which has come back from sandblasting. The thing that you might not want to know about this is that the people we sent it to have sandblasted did a really crummy job. And I think this is a good time to talk about making sure that the people you contract to do work with, they actually do the job you ask them to do. Inspect their work, hold them accountable. We didn't as well as we should have, and man, we paid the price. So this is what a professionally sandblasted frame looks like when you still have dirt in a lot of these areas. We're going to take care of this ourselves and get this frame ready for paint and start putting on some clean parts. Alright, so let me get some of these parts. I'm going to take them over to the sandblast cabinet and I'm going to get sandblasting on them. Alright, so I look at, but sandblasting of these smaller components is done. As you saw in the video, we were fighting that sandblaster. At any rate, sandblaster is doing its thing, but at any rate, the blasting is done. Now it's time to blow off and then blow these components off and start getting some actual paint down and get some reassembly done. Alright, so we're working on the 620 project. And one of the things we had to do, in addition to getting the frame cleaned from the poor sandblast job, we had to mount the engine in the frame and make sure that we had all the mount points right. And we didn't, of course, as is normal. So Darren did a really good job of making sure that the mounts for the bumper were directionally motivated in the right place, and so it was easy to dimensionally lay those out, weld those in, and then we took the frame mounts off of the 620 and we took 620 motor mounts and we welded that in. So now it's actually oriented properly for this SR20 motor, which, surprise, surprise, that's the power plant. So we got that in and positioned on the frame, and it looks like we're going to be good. So now Darren's lifting this thing up. We're going to get the engine off. We're going to invert the frame, and we're going to throw some gray stuff on it. Alright, so now the frame is bare again. Let's try and flip this stupid thing over. I don't know how we're gonna do it. How are we gonna do it, Darren?
We're gonna lift. We're gonna flip.
Forklift and chains, maybe? Let's see. Alright, so the frame is now cleaned up, ready to go. We took a wire wheel over it, wire wheeled all the loose stuff off, got rid of as much of the scale as we possibly can. Now it's time for pour 15. Yay! So it's time to start throwing some pour 15 on this frame.
Oh, we're gonna throw it, man.
What was that again?
gotta throw the paint on there, you know?
Throw it. Yeah, sure. Let's get to it and now. All right, so we got our coats of paint down on the frame on the bottom side. So now we'll get this flipped over after it dries and paint the rest of it. All right, so here we are with the frame. We just flipped it over, laid the top coat of paint over the top of the Pour 15. So now the frame is sitting here ready for us to move on to the next phase once it is dry. So the next phase of this project is going to be to take this engine right here and mount it into the chassis. So our plan is we're going to take the chassis, get the motor installed in it, put it up on the lift, and then we're going to drop, well, not put it up on the lift, put the motor in it, put the cab on the lift, lift the cab up, drop the cab onto the chassis with the lift. Now that will make it easy. That'll be great because then we don't have to try and figure out how to fish this engine into the engine bay and bang up a bunch of crap. Way easier to do it that way. So engine in the chassis, drop the cab down on the chassis, and then assembly can start moving along way faster. Also, we have brand new body bushings for this project, courtesy of Greg. And so now, when we do go put the body on the frame, every one of these bushings will be in great shape. So, should be pretty straightforward, right?
I think so. New body bushings. At least you know the cab's gonna be straight, not sideways.
Let's hope it's not sideways.
Only if it's straight.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get this cab off of that chassis cart that it's on, get it up in the air, and then over here I've got the frame like I was pointing out earlier, and I've got the engine over here. We're going to get the engine into the chassis, and then we're going to roll that over. Hi Rose, man. Those guys at the end of the building, man. Anyway, we're going to get it over there. And we're going to go ahead and drop the cab onto that chassis, and then we're going to take the bed and roll that over and put that onto the back of the frame. It's going to be a big day. All right, so we've got the cab and the bed sitting on the frame. Next step is we need to put the body bushings in. So we'll go ahead and start getting that done and then start adding in all the other stuff that goes into this. So we're gonna leave this video here with you at this point. Our next video is gonna be assembling, next video we're going to talk about assembling suspension, getting that all put back together again. It's probably going to be pretty instructional to show how the suspension goes together, different bushings, and how to do a suspension job right. So we'll go ahead and show you that, probably show you re-indexing torsion bars. We'll show you installing drop spindles, all of that. And of course, these springs also need bushings because those haven't gone on yet. So check us out next time. And we'll catch you again on the flip side of things. All right, Darren, what do you think?
I think we got a big job ahead of us.
Yeah, that's true.
Suspension is, it's fun when everything goes to plan. It sucks when you have to fight.